Have you ever found yourself in a really complex situation, just struggling to find the exact words to describe what you're feeling? Well, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to take a raw list of 19 distinct English phrases and completely transform it into a powerful, structured toolkit for decoding human interaction. Because here's the thing, by mastering these specific, advanced expressions, you aren't just improving your vocabulary. No way. You're actually enhancing your ability to clearly understand yourself and the people around you. Okay, so to make this super easy to digest, here's our agenda. 1. Expressions of pure emotion. 2. Navigating conflict and power. 3. Surviving difficult situations. And 4. Focus, truth, and action. Let's get to it. Starting off with Section 1, Expressions of pure emotion. So let's look at how sadness actually escalates. We usually start with that low-energy feeling of being down in the dumps, which, simply means feeling very sad or depressed. But what happens when that grows? It can eventually ramp up to the intense physical reaction of bawling my eyes out, where you're just crying very heavily. And finally, we have that unexplainable irritability of waking up on the wrong side of the bed, which perfectly describes being in a bad mood for absolutely no clear reason. Honestly, it's pretty fascinating how we have these highly specific phrases for the exact gradations of our emotions, right? But what happens when these internal emotions are pushed to the absolute limit and they begin to spill over into our interactions with others? When that bad mood suddenly turns outward. Well, that brings us to Section 2, Navigating Conflict and Power. Imagine someone just hitting you with a rigid, aggressive ultimatum, my way or the highway. It dictates that you must accept their decision entirely or just leave, leaving absolutely zero room for compromise. It's basically a blunt force instrument in a conversation. But, conflict isn't always that loud. Sometimes there's a severe shift to a subtle, deeply psychological form of manipulation, like gaslighting. Gaslighting means manipulating someone by making them doubt their own thoughts or memories. Unlike a shouting match, this is a quiet, confusing power dynamic that literally makes you question your own reality. It is so interesting how people present themselves in a fight. On one side, you have someone with a silver tongue, meaning they're very skilled and persuasive when talking. But contrast that with bravado. Bravado is merely a facade built on insecurity. It's a fake confidence or bravery used specifically to hide fear. So one is a true skill, while the other is just a fragile shield. Continuing with interpersonal friction, think about exactly where the line gets drawn. Being presumptuous definitely crosses the line into rudeness, because it means being too confident by assuming way too much. Meanwhile, taking the mickey represents a more lighthearted, yet sometimes biting form of verbal sparring. It simply means to joke about someone or make fun of them. And trust me, knowing the difference between those two can save you a whole lot of social misunderstandings. Okay, let's quickly recap and cement these distinct interpersonal power dynamics in your mind before things get even more intense. We've covered ultimatums with my way or the highway, manipulation through gaslighting, persuasion with a silver tongue, fake confidence via bravado, rudeness by being presumptuous, and mocking by taking the mickey. Moving right along to Section 3, Surviving Difficult Situations. This next phrase powerfully captures the complete claustrophobia of being trapped by external forces with your options entirely stripped away. When you are pushed into a corner, you are forced into a difficult situation with very few choices left. So when you're in that corner, how do you actually respond? Well, you might find the strength to stand toe-to-toe and face someone with equal strength or confidence, essentially fighting back directly. Or, honestly, depending on the situation, you might just struggle to keep your head above water as you merely manage to survive, especially during severe financial or personal difficulties. Phew, after all that immense pressure, we finally find some pure relief. A safe haven points to the essential places we retreat to in order to escape life's unrelenting storms. It's simply a place where you feel safe, calm, and protected. We all absolutely need one to recharge. Which brings us to our final phase, Section 4, Focus, Truth, and Action. I kind of love the literal absurdity of peeling an onion to solve a problem. It perfectly represents the methodical process of uncovering hidden layers. To peel the onion means to look deeper into a problem, go step by step, and ultimately find the core truth. It definitely requires patience and focus. Once that truth is revealed, we spend time pondering over it. This means thinking deeply or carefully about it. We do this until the truth becomes completely unambiguous, meaning perfectly clear and not confusing. And, in some rare, profound cases, that truth becomes so important that it is sacrosanct. If something is sacrosanct, it's considered extremely important and should not be changed or disrespected under any circumstances. Finally, to successfully execute your plans, you really have to balance two vital states of action. First, you need the reactive state of being kept on your toes, which keeps you alert, ready, and careful all the time. But you gotta balance that with the proactive, relentless focus of putting your head down to focus and keep working hard without stopping. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself, which of these 19 phrases captures exactly where you are today? Are you unambiguous about your goals or just trying to keep your head above water? Mastering these phrases doesn't just improve your English, it gives you the very tools to understand and navigate your own life. The words we choose literally define the reality we experience, so what reality are you creating right now?